Hi, in this video, let's practice some 10 programs that will be using while loop. These are the very simplest program that you can practice to understand while loop better. So first program is to print from 1 to 10 using while loop. So this is going to be simple. Use a variable and initialize it to 1, and while loop needs a condition. So my condition here is I less than or equal to 10 colon and ident and your print your I, and then you have to increment your I with 1. So now let's run this. So this will be your simplest program to begin with how to use your while loop. And your second program is print from 10 to 1 using while loop. So since you want to use first it was from 1 to 10 in the ascending order. Now we have to do it in descending order. So simple. Just change the logic. Now you initialize your I to 10, and now this is going to be I greater than or equals to 1. This will be my condition now. And this time you will have to decrease the iteration because you have begun with a big number, and your condition is it has to reach until 1, and you have to print the I until it becomes 1. So this is just the reversal of your previous program, which was from 1 to 10, and now it is going to be 10 to 1. So when you run this, so it's going to begin from 10 and then it is going to end with 1. Your third program is to print even numbers between 1 and 10. So if you look at all these programs, they are going to have some few common things that you just have to tweak a little bit. So even number between 1 to 10, so it's going to be between 1 to 10. So let's just take from 1, and this is simply going to, let's use the first program's logic, less than or equal to 10. So if I do this, I know I'm going to print from, let's in, I'm just calling back the first program. So this is going to be my logic to print from 1 to 10. So to say some number is even number, I need that number to be divisible by 2. So use a if loop and divide it by 2. So when you put modulus, it means that the remainder is equals to 0. Means any number that is going to be divisible by 2 and it's going to give you 0, those are the numbers that are counted as even number. So I only want to print those numbers that are divisible by 2, which is going to be an even number. So this is simple same while loop that I used for this program. I'm just adding an extra condition in it, which is an if loop, and I'll be printing this. So this is going to give me the even number between 2 to 10. And third one is odd number. It's simple. So if it is not going to be divisible by 2, that is going to be your odd number. I'm just changing the logic to say like not equal to 0. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 is going to be my odd number. So fifth program is to print all the numbers between 1 and 10 using while loop. So here they need the sum of all numbers. So removing this. If you look at the programs, all the programs are always going to have this iteration, because without iteration your loop is not going to go further actually. So yeah, the condition is true here, but the loop should also know when it should stop. So if I just put I is less than or equal to 10, first it comes here, I is equals to 1, and it will print. Next, it should not, it should still go back, right? So if it is incrementing, yeah, it becomes 2, and then the condition keeps checking. If I don't use this iteration value, it will not be working. So for this, for sum, what I need is, let's use a variable called sum, and they want sum should be sum of all the numbers. So sum should be sum plus I. I'm going to initialize sum with 0. So because initially there is no, the sum is not going to have any value in it. So when 1 comes, it should put 1 in it. And when 2 comes, it should put, so the sum should already have 1 with that. And it should add plus 2. And that, so this I will be carrying 2 with it. And that gets added to this sum. So 1 plus 2 will become 3. And so on. And I'm just want to print the thing. So let's run this program. So some of my 10 numbers are going to be 55. So this is a simple logic to print all the sum of the numbers between 1 to 10. And my sixth program is to print the multiplication of all the numbers between 1 to 10. So this is also going to be, so what I'll put multiply, which is equals to 1, starting it with 1, and multiply is equal to into I. And let's print this. So this is going to be the sum of first multiplication of first 10 number, and then after print the numbers within the range in a given range using a while loop. So this means when they say range, they, let's say that they want to print from 5 to end it till 25. So this is going to be I less than or equals to end. That is going to be the range. When they say range, you have two numbers, your program should be working between two numbers, like from 5 till 25. How will you print the numbers? So this is simply going to this, if you understand the first program, these programs are going to be very simple. So this is going to be my beginning and this is going to be my end, and let's print the I now. So this is going to print from 5 and till 25. Next, what we have is Fibonacci series. So for that, so how Fibonacci series works, for the first 10 number is like 0, starts with 0, and then it needs second number is 2, so second number is 1, so 0 plus 1 goes to 1, that will be a third number, and 1 plus 1 equals to 2, so that will be your fourth number. 2 plus the previous value, which is 1, which is going to be 3, and 3 plus 2 becomes 5, 5 plus 3 becomes 8. So basically it is going to be sum of the last previous two numbers, that is going to be your next number. So to do this, so how we need so I'm going to print the 10 Fibonacci series of first 10 numbers. So since it is going to be first 10 numbers, I'm just using uh, the loop that I was using for the first program. So I'm going to keep the while loop, and anytime you use a variable inside while loop, please initialize it, else you will have an error. So since I need it for 10 numbers, I am starting it with I equals to 0, and I need it till 10. So logic for Fibonacci series is going to be like, you know your A, which is going to be 0, and you know your B, which is going to be 1. So what you do, your A and B should be printed once, so you can print A and B. but C is going to be the one that is going to change. So from here it is going to change, like 1 is going to become 2, and it is going to become 3, and it's going to be 5, 8, 13, and so on. So inside I'm going to use third variable C equals to A plus B, and this is the one I wanted to print inside the loop, because from here the values are going to be changing. Here it is plainly static, so I'm putting this thing outside. From here I want this to get incremented, and now this I don't really want the very next number to get printed, so I'm going to do some tweaking here. So my C is going to be like A plus B, and here I'm going to do some change. After I print this third number, I'm going to swap the values what A and B has. So here I'm going to put A will going to be B, and I'm going to swap the B equal to C. And I want this to happen for 10 times. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I put 10 here, it basically does the iteration does for 10 times. Plus I also have put A and B. Basically this has looped for 12 times. That is why you have gone till 144. So if you wanted to reduce this, so this is going to be your logic for your Fibonacci series. So based on your requirement, you can tweak this value a little bit, this while loop, the condition that you wanted to uh, like repeat the operation, to print the Fibonacci series. So the next program is going to be factorial of a given number using while loop. So factorial is going to be similar to that of multiplication of all the numbers between 1 to 10. So it's going to be pretty much same logic. So what I'm going to do is I will keep I as 1. So factorial is like, how factorial works is like, say I want factorial of 5. It means 1 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 4 into 5. So this is going to be factorial, I think, which is like 120. So let's say, so you need I to get initialized to 1. And if we will be doing factorial for 5, I am using the same condition from the previous programs, which is I less than or equal to 5 in this case. You need a third variable multiplication, which is equals to multiplication into I, and initialize the multiplier to 1. Print the multiplier variable. If I'll be using a function, I can return this value in the function, and I can just print this number alone. So the last program in the series to practice the while loop is going to be to print the prime numbers between 1 and 10 using a while loop. So for a number to qualify as a prime number, it should be divisible by 1 and itself. Obviously, 1 is not a prime number, so your number should your range of numbers to be tested between 1 and 10 should start between 2 and 10. So I'm going to use I variable, going to initialize it with 2, and let's use the while loop like we were using in the previous program. So I less than or equals to 10. So since I have a while loop, so I need an iterator for it. So I needed to increment one after one. So I plus is equals to 1. So here I have to do one more check that I need not. So for example, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 until 10. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let me comment it. So I have this many numbers. So what happens is when so I will have to check for the prime numbers. I will have to check like so for 10 I have to divide the 10 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to say like whether this is going to be divisible by any of this number. And the point I'm trying to make here is I will have to do it only for the half of the number, because the higher the number becomes, it will be giving me a fractional reminder. So to avoid that, I will have to do it only for the half of the iteration to check the prime number. So I will need to use one more while loop. So while So in that while loop, I have to do only for half. So I'm going to take one more variable, so which is going to be j, and I need a variable called flag. So this is the one that is going to segregate me the values that are going to tell me whether it is a prime or not. So I'm going to use a flag variable, which is going to be at 0. And in the second while, I'm using j less than or equals to I divided by 2. So this is basically so instead of iterating the whole series between 1 to 10, I'm just going to use only half, like to avoid the fraction. So the next loop you put this, and you can always close your iterator value. So here I need a if loop to say whether the number is divisible by these numbers in the series between 2 to 5. So for that, I modulus j equals to 0. If it is going to be divisible, I'm inserting a condition. If it's going to be divisible, you make the flag equals to 1 and break. So this is going to be the condition that will say like if the numbers that comes between the 2 and the 5, if they are going to divide the number, then it is going to be not a prime number. And then so here if flag equals to 0, print I. So this if I'm going to do this within this while loop, like the outer while loop, not in the inside while loop. So now if you try to run, so when you run, you get the answer. So 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, and 7 is a prime number. So these are the numbers that is between 1 and 10 that is prime number. So that is it then. Thank you.